Okay, first of all, my thoughts and prayers go out to Coach Frank Broyles' family. Obviously a big loss for college football, big loss for the state of Arkansas, and the fact that I grew up in the state of Arkansas, and he was a legend, somebody you could really look up to, and got a chance to, in 2010, won the Broyles Award, got a chance to spend some real quality time with him. That was very special to me, and just prayers go out to him and his family. Also, like we talked about earlier when I tweeted out that Jarrett Stidham is our starter and quarterback. He's earned that. He's performed very well the last 2 weeks. He performed very well in the spring too, but like I said, we wanted to give Sean White a real chance to compete. Sean competed very well, and I think Sean has improved from last year. After 2 scrimmages, after a lot of different 11-on-11 situations, 7-on-7 situations, just got with Chip, and we just felt like the time was right, and he's earned the job. Sean White is our number 2 quarterback. Sean White is a guy that we have a lot of confidence in. Obviously, has won games, has performed extremely, well at a high level in this league when he's been healthy. And then, of course, Malik Willis is coming on, and like y'all know, I've bragged on him, and I think he's going to be an excellent quarterback. So, the quarterback depth right now is very high. But Jarrett Stidham's our starter. We're excited about that. I know the team's excited about that when we announced it, and he had a different step out there in practice today. As far as practice goes, we had a solid practice. Part of the time we did start working on Georgia Southern, starting to put in just the basic game plan, still working on our fundamentals and getting better, but we did start the game plan with them. Questions?
Gus, what happens at the number 2 quarterback spot? Who's going to have that job?
Sean White, like I just said. Yeah, Sean White's our number 2.
How close is that debate there?
Really not a debate. I mean, Sean White, could start for a whole lot of teams in this league, and like I said, when he's healthy, I think everybody in this room has seen what he can do, and so no, he's our number 2 quarterback. But like I said, I mean, Malik is a very good player. He's impressed us, but Sean White's our number 2 quarterback, and there's really no gray to him being our number 2 quarterback.
Gus, there's no injuries that necessitate you can play. Would you like to redshirt Malik?
I think in a perfect world, we would. We're not really thinking that way. In case you have one injury, that changes everything. So he will continue to be with, the offense and get reps and everything with that. But, like I said, you can never have enough quarterback depth, as we found the last few years. So, we've got to get him ready.
After the spring and what you've seen from Jarrett these first 2 weeks, what does he do very well that you're excited about?
Well, I've been talking about his leadership. That's probably the thing that's really stood out to me more than anything from the spring and the fall. Just his ability to, win his teammates over offensively, defensively, the coaches. He's a gym rat as far as football goes. I mean, he's always in the film room trying to get better. He's got extremely strong arm. He's got a lot of skills that could be a very good quarterback. Keep in mind that, I think we also got to keep in mind that he's still an inexperienced guy. I mean, he still has some things that, he's going to need to go out on the field and play more and get used to things. And so, but, he's really impressed, Coach Lindsey, myself, and his teammates.
His ability to run, we saw it some at Baylor. Is he still the same type of runner in that, where something breaks down, you could pick up?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a lot better athlete than people think. I mean, he runs a 4.6. He's got a 35-inch vertical. I mean, he's pretty athletic.
Where did Sean fall short in the race? What were things that you wanted him to be better at this camp?
I'm not going to say it was really anything that Sean really fell short of. Matter of fact, like I said earlier, I'm confident that Sean is better right now than he was last year. I think, there's a lot of things with his footwork and things to go. I think it's more of Jarrett. Jarrett performed at extremely high level, and so I don't think it's anything that I'd say negatively about Sean. And I think if you ask Sean that, he would say the same thing, that he's felt like he's improved and done some good things too.
you figured things out, obviously, at quarterback. What about your offensive line? I know you had some good pieces and decisions to make there.
Yeah, you know, we still had 2 different lineups today. You know, we're going to get to really our off day on Thursday and really start trying to settle in. There's some really good competition going on with some veteran guys, and Coach Hand's got a couple, you know, 3 of our seniors that are playing 2 different positions right now. And so we're trying to zero in on that. But the good thing is we have depth,
Coach,
and we got experience.
Yeah,
Coach, could you tell us what those 2 different lineups were? Just go over them. real quick.
Oh, gosh, you're going to ask me that question right now. I'm thinking about quarterbacks. You know, Saturday, it was very, very similar to Saturday. I think Tega was at left tackle. Darius was at right tackle. Braden played some right guard. Mike Horton was at left guard. And then Austin was at center. And then I think Braden moved out to tackle. You know, I know Markwell Harrell was in the middle of that. I know Golson played some guard. So that's the best off my memory. I don't know how, you know, completely accurate that is. But
How surprised have you been by Prince's, you know?
We knew Prince was phenomenal, athletic, skilled. It's just a matter of, you know, he hadn't been playing football a long time, so just understanding everything. And you know, he's very strong. He's very athletic. He's got the skill set that you look for in a left tackle, and he's hungry. You know, he's got that hunger. He really wants to play and be good, and that's really what stood out to me. He's still learning. You know, I mean, he's still learning.
Gus, Jarrett first visited here the first day of fall camp last year. When did you first envision him being the starter for this program?
You know, I mean, as a coach, you know, you recruit guys, and you know, you want to recruit the best players, and we knew he was a good player. And but until you actually get him on campus and start working with him, that's when you find out, you know, everything you need to know. But we expected him to be a good player. But like I said earlier, the intangible things, you know, he's really impressed me with, and you know, he's got a good skill set too.
He had said in the spring, and you chalked it up in endship to him being hard on himself. He had talked about having a lot of weaknesses, failures, and experience. What are things that you think he needs to work on here, if any weaknesses still exist, before the season starts?
Yeah, you know, that's a great question. I think any true competitor is very critical in their self and the areas to improve on. And, you know, I think if you ask him, it would just be the overall being able to go out there and have the game experience. So keep in mind, he hadn't played a whole lot of games. So, you know, there's going to be some learning processes that you can only do in the course of games, you know, as far as that. But there's not one area I can sit here and say, oh, he needs to improve on this. I think it's more of just a big picture area of the experience when you go out and, you know, you fine-tune your overall game.
Did you notify him individually this morning? Was that a tough
Yeah, me
conversation?
and Chip talked to all 3 quarterbacks individually, and then we told the team.
Was that a tough conversation with Sean, just given what he's been through to kind of work himself back?
You know, anytime you're a coach, I don't care what position it is, you have good competition, you have to tell someone that they're not going to be the starter. It's not an easy thing. I will tell you this: Sean is a great competitor. Sean is a very mature, and you know, he's going to do everything in his power to help this team win, and he's got to be ready. And that's what I told him too. He's got to keep preparing like, you know, he's going to play, and I expect him to do that. And you know, like I said, our quarterback position right now, I mean, I would probably put it up there with you know, the other teams in the country that as far as our quality of depth.
Gus, you get a lot of reps to the number 3, 4, 5, 6 running backs, last 2 scrimmages. Do you have 1 or 2 guys there starting to step forward in that competition?
You know, that's kind of another, we get to Thursday, that's kind of another conversation we're going to have. The good thing is 2 straight scrimmages. We gave all those guys opportunities to go with the ones, with the one offensive line. That's when you can really evaluate them. We're looking for guys that can only run the football, can protect. Like we've talked about with Chip, with his checkdowns, with his backs, is going to be very important. So there's really good competition. I'm not ready to sit here and say this guy stepped up or this guy stepped up, but you know, we need to start narrowing things down here pretty quick.
Gus, are you ready in terms of special teams to say you're comfortable with either punter or
your return game right now?
Getting closer, getting a lot closer. We punted. We had some backed up punt situations today. I wanted to look at it on film and all that, but I'm feeling better about that position, and that's a good thing.
After looking at the video this weekend in the scrimmage, any takeaways, and also you want to have another scrimmage?
Yeah, we will have another scrimmage. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like yet, but it was a very good scrimmage from a coach's standpoint on Saturday. Like I said, it was more kind of directed towards the true freshmen. It was more directed towards some veterans maybe that hadn't started, that, to see if they could raise their level. The offense having some explosive plays was probably, from a big picture standpoint, one of the more positive things, as far as that goes, especially in the passing game.
Gus, I mean, looking for playmakers at wide receiver. Had some of those things Saturday. How much have you seen that group kind of continue to improve?
Well, I think Saturday was big. You had some young guys make some big plays, and a couple of them did some things with the ball after they caught it. And that's the group that we've been challenging, like we've talked about. That's going to be a big key to the offense. And the offense's success, a big key is going to be the offensive receivers, stepping up. And I've seen them get better, but it's just a matter of getting out there in the game and doing it.
Just the competition level there.
Yeah.
You rotate guys in and out, but how important is it to find those 2 or 3 guys that will be maybe?
Yeah. I think it is important. I will tell you, just talking with the offense coaches and Coach Burns, Coach Lindsey, and talking about the receivers, there's a lot of competition. In the past, maybe there hadn't been as much, and everything was pretty defined. But I think it's a positive, as far as a depth standpoint, that we have some quality guys that we feel like can do some things. So maybe that'll be able to keep some guys fresher, and so we're still working through that.
Gus, how has Darius James done this fall camp, and in particular, how do you like him at right tackle?
Yeah, Darius has really taken that next step, just from a maturity standpoint. He's a senior now. You can tell that he has that experience under his belt in this league, starting at left tackle. Coach Hand has repped him as much at right tackle as left tackle. I think he's responded very well. He's worked on his technique, and you can tell he's raised his level, and that's what you expect out of seniors, especially that have started. So I'm happy with where Darius James is right now.
When upgrading the passing game was such an emphasis this whole offseason, when you guys struggled last year, 13th in the league, what is a realistic expectation? Not to put it on Jarrett, but Jarrett and Chip and receivers come together. What is a realistic expectation of what you're expecting for this passing game this fall?
Well, I mean, we're going to be able to run the football. We're going to be able to affect, but when they give us the pass, especially one-on-ones, the expectation is to make plays. And, Chip has done a super job so far with that. We talked about balance, and that's probably the best way I can put it. I expect us to be balanced from the standpoint of taking what a defense gives you. Like I said, receivers have a lot to do with that. I feel as good as you can right now. I want to see them in a game to make sure they're, at that level. And then I think Jarrett can throw the football down the field. I mean, I think, he can really stretch the field. So that's.
You said Saturday that Whitlow might be the only guy that might not be ready for the opener. Do you want to pump the brakes on anybody else that's
No.
Nick or especially your defensive guys, or you still have expectations that they'll be ready?
Yeah, no, I have expectations everybody be ready. Whitlow possibly could be. I doubt it, but he's the only one.
Coach, you've had some pretty strong arm quarterbacks. I know Jarrett does a lot of things, but
Yeah.
how does his arm strength compare to some of the guys that you coach, including Cam Newton?
Boy, that's a hard one. He has a really good arm. He can get the ball out really quick, and he's got a really strong arm. I mean, it's hard to really compare a whole lot, but he's got a really strong arm.
I know there's times when you say you can just kind of see the light click on and you know that that's your guy. When did it happen with Jarrett, you think, that
Well,
this guy is going to be possibly our starter?
Well, you could see in spring he was talented. Okay, everybody saw that, but it was more of I wanted to give Sean and so did Chip a good opportunity to compete for the job, and Sean raised his level. Not until I sat down with Chip after the scrimmage to see where we're at, but I mean, I think from day one, we knew he was very talented.
When you look back at Jarrett's tape from Baylor, and you put up those stats as a starter, a lot of that came against some weaker pass defenses. In the spring or now, obviously you have a much better secondaries than some of the teams you played. Was it merely just practicing against the ones, or were there situations you wanted to put him in to see about tighter windows and circumstances that he just didn't face at Baylor?
Well, I mean, if you go against our defense, the windows aren't going to be very, very big, and so you've got to earn it a lot of times, especially when you're going against our top guys. And I think that competition does nothing but bring out the best in everybody for our receivers. But like I said, I think Jarrett's, our team's excited about Jarrett, and I'm excited about Jarrett being our starter, and so now we can start preparing for our first game.